Hi everybody and welcome to Alistair Davies Golf. Today I'm here at the Forest of Arden using Trackman to do a little kind of test on the new Cobra drivers. So I've got the two heads here. I've got the F7 and the F7 Plus. So I've got the bright blue head here. It does come in different colors if you don't like blue. If you're a Chelsea fan, these are the ones for you. I quite like the blue, by the way, but it has adjustable weight ports in the head, so you can move the weight around to encourage more draw axis spin. You can move the weight to the front or the back in both models. They're the same size heads, but optically they're very different. It's a very different kind of shape to the head. Straight away, the F7 Plus is more the one that will appeal to me. The F7 would probably be more your normal golfers and your comparison to the normal size head people would look at and shape head people look at. In looking at how they feel weight-wise and shaft-wise and stuff, they feel nice, light-weighted clubs. Both have the Fujikura stock stiff shaft in them. There's one interesting feature that they both have, which I didn't know about, is this connect feature in the butt of the club. This connect is like a GPS system that allows you to get your stats from your driver. It's powered by Arcos, and it comes then with basically you have an app on your phone which can allow you to get your data to see how far you hit it, how many fairways you hit, if you miss it left or right. So it's quite a nice interactive bit of kit. From a coaching perspective, it's very useful to know those numbers. So when you go to see your coach, if you have this technology, then it's good to share that with your coach and look at your common mistakes, and it'll help you be reflective in your rounds rather than kind of emotional. So it'll help you think about your data and what you need to change to make a difference to your game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit both drivers. I'm going to change the weight ports to front to back. So I'm going to try and compare the Plus to the normal, and I'm going to move the weight in the front of both of them and see what that does to the ball flight and spin particularly. In theory, obviously moving the weight forward, we should be reducing the spin. Looking at the Cobra information on it, as we move the weight forward, it should increase the ball speed. So we're going to see if that actually happens or not. And obviously there's a bit of pilot error here because I'm going to be hitting the shots. So obviously I'm going to try and hit these as consistently as I can, but there will be a bit of pilot error in there. Let's have a go hitting some shots. Okay, let's have a look at the Trackman data. So I've got obviously 4 options of the data in here. I've got the kind of F7 standard and the F7 Plus, and then moving the weight around. What I've got is fairly consistent throughout the whole range of the data in terms of kind of distance. It doesn't change much. It changes a maximum of kind of 5 yards from each of the clubs. So whether I use either driver in either setting, it only varies my yardage by 5 yards. So that's pretty good. But it does give me a change in ball flight, which is, again, one of the things we want to see from this. In terms of which is the fastest driver for me, the F7 Plus performed the fastest in club head speed. So potential distance, the F7 Plus is the driver that will give me the most potential speed. In terms of total distance, the one that went the furthest was the F7 Plus with the weighting on the front, which we talked about earlier about how that might increase the ball speed because the weight is nearer the kind of impact, so it gives us more force at impact. So that gave me a ball speed, if we look at the ball speed figure here, let me just find that ball speed figure, of 152.2. When I had the F7, the standard driver, with the front weight, it gave me a slightly faster ball speed, but the spin rate was different, which is why I didn't go as far. That gave me 153.8. And the F7 Plus gave me a faster ball speed than having the weight forward too. So in terms of having the weight forward with the F7 Plus, it didn't give me more ball speed, which is kind of what we're trying to see if it did or didn't. It didn't. It gave me less spin. So the less spin gave me an overall greater distance. So it actually went further with the weight forward, but didn't give me ball speed. In the F7 version, the standard version, it did give me more ball speed. It increased my ball speed by 2.7 mile an hour, which is quite big. In theory, every mile an hour ball speed is 2 yards. So in theory, it's going to give me 4 to 5 yards more distance, having the weight forward. In the Plus, it didn't work that way for me, but that might be pilot error. So, but it did reduce the spin. So let's look at the spin rate. So the F7 Plus, with a standard weight, was 2,193 revs per minute of spin. And when I put the weight forward, it reduced it to 2,068 spin. So it reduced it just by 130-ish spin. So an ideal kind of spin rate for me would be around about low 2,000, so 2,000 to 2,200 for a kind of an optimal for me to hit a driver, with a launch angle of around about kind of 13 to 14 degrees with my speed. That's be what I would be looking for. Now, depending on your speed, these numbers would vary for what you would want. So if you're a slower speed, you might want a slightly higher launch and a slightly higher spin to get the optimal ball flight for maximum carrying distance. But those would be my numbers, just bear that in mind. So the prognosis really from this is when I move the weight forward, with one of the models it increased my ball speed straight away, with the other model it didn't, but it did reduce the spin. So what Cobra are kind of saying from moving the weight around, it will reduce the spin and increase the speed. And I kind of got to say that's fairly true. Obviously there's a bit of pilot error in the Plus model for me, but it did reduce the spin on both models and it did increase the speed with one model. So the interesting thing for me was both models, even though I would normally traditionally always go for the Plus model if I was going to pick a driver off the shelf, the standard model, the F7, performed almost as well as the Plus in terms of ball flight and distance. And feel-wise, it probably felt a little bit easier to hit. But again, I always base my decisions on evidence. Is this the longest, straightest driver I could use? Then that's the one I would use. So it has to be always based on evidence. But the main thing from this video is looking at, moving the weight, what does it do? Changing head, what does it do? And it pretty much does what it says on the tin. It tells us it's going to do this, and it does. I think the Connect feature is a really good feature. It saves you buying any external devices that would do this for you. So that's included within the club. Can't tell it's even in there. I'll show you an image of how it looks. But it gives you some great facts and data from when you're playing golf, which will help your golf no end. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you go out and get fitted. Can't recommend that highly enough, whether it be irons, woods, wedges or putters. Fitting is key. Get the right clubs in your hands. It'll give you the most optimum ball flight always, especially with drivers. When you're looking at your driver, always look to get fitted for a new driver probably every year, or if not every 2 years, because the technology moves on quite quickly. So it's important you keep searching for what the best product is on the market. And if it makes a difference to your game, go out and purchase it. If you've enjoyed the video, please click like down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Got regular content coming every single week. And if you have any comments, please post them in the box down below, especially if any future videos you'd like me to do. And thanks for watching.